is a difference between you and me. We both looked into the abyss. But when it looked back at us, you blinked.
Hi guys, Angreifer here, and this is a DC Legends video. In this video, I am going to, there was a request made by Darkseid, one of my Patreons. He asked me to compare evasion teams versus turn meter manipulation teams. Now, this is not exactly an easy undertaking, so I'm going to kind of treat it like a versus. Like, which one would you prefer to use? And for me, to be quite frank, the main two, and I'll just go ahead and go to it right here. The main two characters that are, well, main two, there's several. When you're thinking about using turn meter manipulation or about evasion as your base for your team's comp, then you're going to really talk about two main leads. Now, of course, it's different now. Ooh, actually, you know what? Strike that. You're talking about one lead for evasion and at least 3 leads for turn meter manipulation. And what I will say is this on the same time, because now when he was saying turn meter manipulation and the thought process I had when like preparing myself for this video was turn meter down. However, there's also the benefit of turn meter up. And so also when he has the evasion teams, and this is how I built a lot of my evasion teams, there is evasions and then there's hit chance downs. So the concept here is, you know, making your opponent miss versus taking more turns than your opponent, right? So that is kind of how I'm going now that I just thought about it, and I probably just made things harder on myself. That is kind of how I'm going to approach this so I don't kind of get lost in the thing that I'm trying to do. So when we're talking about, I did just make this a whole lot harder on myself when I think of that. When we're talking about turn meter manipulation, there are, and let's see, they're all, well, no, they're not all Earthlings, male, female, there's a female, and they're hero and villain. Oh, wow. Okay, so the first one that I think of when I think of turn meter manipulation is Red Hood. Now, Red Hood, I think of him first just because of a bias. I wanted Red Hood for like years, like the first 2 years of the game. Then I finally got him, and I loved him. He was incredible. He's amazing off lead. He's amazing on lead. Like, he's an overall great character. Him at lead has kind of fallen off based on the other two I'm about to name who are turn meter manipulators. But, and well, yeah, who are turn meter manipulators. Actually, the next 3, because I just thought of another one. He's kind of fallen off at lead. I still think he's a top tier lead. Like, he's high up there, but he's not as good as the next 3 I'm about to name. The next one, the next 2, I guess I'll put them both up at the same time. That's a weird thing, is Martian Manhunter and Lex. Lex and Martian Manhunter. Martian Manhunter only because what he does is he gives 20% extra turn meter at the start of battle. Lex because every time somebody buffs, he gives turn meter, and his A2 gives turn meter. With Red Hood, it is whenever an enemy dies, it reduces their turn meter. Well, it says 50%, but it basically resets the whole turn meter. So that is the advantage that they provide in terms of turn meter. And then on top of all that, you have, well, I have a doggy who wants to come and sit in my lap right now. Hold on. Say hello. She has a piece of a leaf in her mouth. She looks like she's from Alabama. You see that? All she's missing is a straw hat. I'm from Alabama, I would know. She's got straw literally hanging out of her mouth. Wow. All right, so in any case, and then the final is Cheetah. Cheetah does the same as Martian Manhunter, gets 20% turn meter up on her at the beginning of battle. It's from her ability called Blood something or another. I can't remember what it's called. From the ability Blood in the Air. And so she can actually do it more often. Now, when it comes to these leads in terms of, and I'm going to go over them a little bit. I'm not going to do a whole lot, but a little bit. And then I guess maybe I'll give you the verdict. When it comes to the leads and how they work, Lex may be the best at turn meter manipulation as far as leads go. just because if anybody buffs, he's giving them more turn meter, more turn meter, so he's increasing the speed of your team overall throughout the battle. Martian Manhunter just ensures that your team will go first. And then Cheetah ensures that your team will go first, but she does have the ability, once that Blood in the Air is off cooldown, to increase the turn meter of your team again. Red Hood, by comparison, whenever anyone dies, he's not ensuring that your team goes first. He could be good for ghost second teams or teams that aren't faster than you. But once you have one person die and their turn meters keep going down, now it's allowing your entire team to keep attacking. So once they lose one enemy, and the turn meters reset, you're not home free, but you're in a very, very good position, and it's more likely than not you're going to win. Now, when it comes to hit chance down and evasions, off the top of my there she is. She needs her camera time, right? Olympia, what you doing? What you doing? She needs her camera time. She has to be seen, I guess, right? Is that right? All right, come on down. I'm gonna put you down. All right, so in terms of hit chance down and evasion ups, the leads that I would use, or the leads that I can think of, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm trying really hard to think about this, but there's only two. And I feel like I should even go through the whole thing. The best one in the game is Batgirl, without a doubt, by far. And then second would be Black Canary, who I was taking her 70-11 because I didn't have Batgirl at the time, and I was going to use her for my evasion comp. So I was trying to build entire teams of evasion and hit chance down. And I was building her until I finally got the frags to take Batgirl L2, then L3, and then I just left Black Canary in the dust. The minus about Batgirl is that she can't reestablish her evasion ups. Once it happens, and then once it's gone, it's gone. With Black Canary, she can't keep giving you hit chance downs to ensure that your team has a better chance of not being hit. Now, before I even get into the characters themselves, from a fun point of view, I feel like evasion up and hit chance downs are just more fun to me. They're more interesting. The teams are more interesting to build. You've heard me say this in previous videos before. This is almost like the lottery, where like, I don't know if I'm going to win or not, but since I don't play the lottery and I don't do scratch tickets or whatever, then this is my closest thing to that, because I'm basically gambling that my team is going to win, because it's all based on RNG. Like, evasion ups and hit chance downs are wholly unreliable unless you have a million of them. But then if you're building your entire team to rely upon that, then one thing goes wrong in that team, and then the rest of the team is like done. Whereas with turn meter manipulation is a guarantee, so long as it's in their kit and it says, like, they're going to do this, not 75% chance or whatever. If they manipulate your turn meter, then they manipulate your turn meter. Your turn meter goes down by 10%, 20%, resets, whatever. That is what happens. So turn meter manipulation, though, and I do have a lot of fun with turn meter manipulation. I do love those teams as well. But to me, that is one of the best skills, if not the best skill to have in the game, is to manipulate somebody's turn meter one way or another. The thing that makes Black Flash one of the most annoying and obnoxious characters in the game is the fact that isn't the fact that he's fast, it's the fact that he's fast and he manipulates your turn meter. And that's what's key about him. That's why he's king of PvP right now. So now, as we go through it, I'm going to go ahead and go through some of the turn meter manipulators. And actually, scratch that. I'm going to go through my evasion up, folks, first, because I do love evasion up. You have your Cassandra Cain and your Dove. Those are the two best evasion up tunes in the game, just in terms of reliability on the amount of evasion ups that they'll receive. So like Harley Quinn, I think at the beginning, he has like one or two more than Dove, but Dove, once she gets going on her A1, she stacks evasion ups so much, and she doesn't give a break, unlike Cassandra Cain, to where you can hit her in the middle somewhere, that once she gets going, you might as well just quit the match, because it's going to be a stalemate, because she's just going to keep giving herself evasion ups, and you're never going to be able to hit her. She hasn't dominated or been in PvP as much as I thought she would have been when she first came out and I first saw. At first, I thought she wasn't great. Then I played with her. She's incredible. And then they introduced a slew of like can't miss tunes and hit chance up tunes. They had Zod, Starfire, and Terra come right on the back of Dove, and that basically gave her, you know, a week to shine in the game, and then she went back into the shadows. Cassandra Cain, incredible. Starts off with a bunch of evasion ups and can regenerate those evasion ups, can gain those back again. So she is a great, she retaliates. So does Dove. Like, I love the way that they're built. I love the way that their kits work with each other. Like, work in general, just for themselves. So for me, Cassandra Cain is probably the best evasion character in the game, followed by Dove, who is tied. I'll tie Dove with another one who's kind of infuriating, and that is Harley Quinn. You guys know Harley Quinn. She's a god on defense and mediocre on offense, unless you have a Batgirl, or if you want to make this composition, you can have a Dove, because the other plus side about Dove is that she'll give her allies 5% or 5 evasion ups. Now, why does that work well with Batgirl is that Batgirl retaliates when you miss anyone on her team. So if you missed anyone on the team, then Batgirl retaliates. However, those evasion ups that she gives at the beginning, which I think are 3, fall off after 2 turns. And so then if they're not missing, then Batgirl's utility as a person who purges buffs and retaliates on the A1 can't be used. So that having Dove with Batgirl so that Dove can reestablish all those evasion ups is like a perfect pairing. So now the whole team is back to evasion ups. It's very hard to hit them, and once they miss, then Batgirl can retaliate. So Harley Quinn, on top of that, works well with Dove and with Batgirl, just because she has like just enough evasion ups when she comes into the game. That's a 50-50 chance of whether or not you're going to hit her. So unless you bring like a can't miss or a hit chance up. Gotta sip the coffee. I'm getting like the 2 p.m. sleepies. You know what I mean? Like, you guys know what I mean? After you've had lunch and you're like, oh, I gotta go back to work. And then it's like 2:30. You're like, that thing. All right, so Harley Quinn with Dove is a great pairing because Harley Quinn, again, retaliates when she gets missed. She hits like an absolute truck, and Dove can give her even more evasion ups, so that those, I think it's 5 evasion ups that Harley Quinn gets at the beginning, now become 10, and so she's damn near impossible to hit. She becomes like a Cassandra Cain in terms of the amount of evasion ups and keeping people off of her. So that is basically, make sure I got this, that's basically there. Now next what we're going to do is go through, let's see, we'll do the Mystics now. We will do the Mystics. So now with the Mystics, you have Eclipso and you have Siren. Every time an enemy takes bleed damage, Siren gets evasion ups, plus she has another ability that gives her evasion ups. I'm not going to go into it really, but she gets a lot of evasion ups. And again, she's one of those, like, she's not a hit. If you miss her, then she retaliates. But she can stack up evasion ups remarkably fast, and that can screw you really big time. Eclipso is the Harley Quinn before the rework. So basically, he does exactly what Harley Quinn does, except for that 50% chance of enraging people. Harley Quinn has it for doing it all or nothing. He has it for each individual. So 2 of them can end up in rage, 3 of them can end up in rage, 0, whatever. So that's how Harley Quinn was before she had a rework last year. So that's how that works. First time you see me drink water on the show. Okay, so this is my rehearsal for a soft drink. Get at me. All right, so now, so those are the evasion ups. The next 2 evasion ups teams that I use, or the next 2 evasion up characters that I use for my evasion up comps. And then next, as you guys know that I put out a video actually about evasion up comps. So maybe you've seen that already. I am not sure. Last but not least are going to be both Batman Beyond, who I think is really, really good and really, really fun to play with. He doesn't really have a place in the game right now, but I loved him. He was my first L5 tune. He was the first, and I got it free to play too, where I had to like basically grind for that whole month to get every single frag every single day. And thankfully, I was in a terrible alliance at the time, so I wasn't really worried about earning alliance points or whatever. I just had to have Terry McGinnis. And so then I went ahead and like grinded out, got him L5. It was awesome. Now also Impulse, who does apply hit chance downs and actually really helps along like rounding out the evasion comp because he also has speed. He also can stun. So hit chance downs from Batman Beyond. He does it twice on his A2, on his A1 at times. I think it's like 50% chance. So in any case, those are the evasion ups and hit chance downs. Now, why is it not as good as I said before? Why is it not as good as turn meter? Is because when you're doing that, you are really, really, really putting yourself in the hands of your RNG. Now, as we go to turn meter manipulators, I think you guys all know the first one, and that is going. Confirm. And that is going to be Black Flash, the ultimate turn meter manipulator in the game. Resets his A3. Can't keep the enemy team like turn meter locked. So he is incredible. Next is a tune that I would use all the time before Black Flash came out, and that is Wally West. Wally West on his A2 gives everyone 20% turn meter up. What I would basically run before Martian Manhunter came in and Cheetah came in and ruined my thing. But what I used to do is that I would run Wally West with Lex, do his A2 as a semi-automatic team. It would overheal everybody. It would give everybody turn meter. We all would go first. Boom, there you go. Then go ahead and hit auto, and usually I would win. So he is one, and one that I would run on this composition a lot of times as well is Castaway Green Arrow, Kaga. So now on his A3, he reduces everyone's turn meter by 20%. Not to mention the fact that he is also like the third fastest non-speedster in the game. So you take all the speedsters there first. Then after that, you have Aqualad and I think Castaway Green Arrow. I want to say there's one more above Castaway Green Arrow that just came out. But then you have Castaway Green Arrow. He's stupid fast. He reduces the turn meter. So if that other team doesn't have a speedster, he's going to go first. Unless Aqualad is there. He's going to go first. You do the A3, and then everybody loses turn meter, and then you guys can just go at it. Not to mention the fact that on one of his passive abilities, I just remember this from before, and I couldn't believe that I had forgotten about it because it's an awesome ability. All teammates have 50% chance to purge one buff when damaging. Also apply 10% turn meter down. So then he makes your entire team, give them a 50-50 chance to apply turn meter down in a battle, which is absolutely incredible. 10% doesn't sound like a lot, but it can be remarkably helpful to slow down an enemy team and give you a second to figure out a strategy or to decide the next move. So that is Kaga. He also strips buffs. Like, Kaga's an incredible tune. I mean, I was just running him, nothing but him, for like a year and a half. He's an absolutely incredible tune. All right, so now headed back. Here's the thing. I think you guys help me out. I know that, and I'm not thinking of those that give turn meter passively. Like, it's nice to have, just like what Kaga did, where he gives a passive to the rest of his teammates. But I'm not counting on, like, I think Barda gives turn meter on her A3, A2, but I'm not counting her as a turn meter manipulator. She doesn't do enough in that realm. And I'm sitting here looking and trying to go through the others that do turn meter to the way that I wanted it to, like to the way where it's like 10, 20, 30%, you're having to marry somebody and. I did want that. So next on that list, well, who do I put? There's a few, like, okay, so for instance, you know what? We'll go with Impulse. So Impulse, and I have to double check just to make sure because I can't remember which one it is. It is on his A2, apply 70% turn meter down to all enemies, 70% chance to apply stun. So honestly, like, Impulse is a little bit of a beast. I should probably pay more attention to him. What is his level? I need to pay more attention to Impulse. Anyway, so like, he also applies 70% turn meter down. So the reason why, after all this talking, to me, it's very simple. And what I'll do is I'll build one evasion up team, and I'll build one. Hey, don't ever do that. Let your wraith energy get so high up. I'll build one evasion up team. I'll build one turn meter team, and then I'll call it a video. But the reason why I just cannot do evasion. I mean, I do the evasion up teams not because I love them, because they're fun, not because they're necessarily good or a great way to win. It can be helpful to have evasion ups, but you got to have a backup plan in case in case the RNG decides to be against you. So let's go ahead and go here. We have Batgirl. I would love to have a Cassandra Cain in there. I would do Harley Quinn. She's great if she stuns. And then should I do Impulse? Nope, because that's turn meter as well. And I don't want to add both. That kind of makes it unfair, right? So let's do Dove, maybe. Dove will ensure that we have more evasion ups as well. So let's go ahead and put Dove in there. Where are you, Dove? I know you. Nope, there you are. Okay. So here's the other thing about it too. A lot of those abilities, like evasion ups, they're mostly not mystics, physicals. There is 2 for each energy and mysticals, but it's physicals. They are really physical based. Now I'm gonna go ahead and go ooey. I was gonna go ahead and go auto. What I'm gonna do first is hit Azrael with this so he has buff immunity. Then I will go auto, which I'm doing right now. Let's hope everything works out well. He missed. Now the main thing that I like about this team, the main reason I like it building these evasion up teams is that if you build it correctly, if you build it right, then you have the possibility if someone drops an AoE to have between like 3 and 7 attacks in return and in retaliation for what they did. So you can very well take out one character before you even get a chance to decide what to happen next, before you even get a chance to play, because someone hits with an AoE. If Black Flash hits with an AoE on an evasion up team, that's the end of Black Flash, period. As you can see here, Cassandra Cain is trying to hold her own like a boss, but like thanks to RNG in and of itself, because of how it is set up, it is hard for them to maintain the evasion ups. Plus, evasion ups is no guarantee of being missed. It is just that you have a chance to be missed. That could be a 20% chance, it could be 100%, or not even 100% chance, but 90% chance. I think though Dove and Cassandra Cain are the closest to getting to 100% as anyone is going to get to with an evasion tune. So they stack so many evasion ups, the amount of chance for you to hit them must be minuscule. All right, let's go ahead and put them in here. Let's get them a victory before we move on to turn meter, because turn meter is good. I like it. I enjoy it. When I figured out what the turn meter was, I started trying to manipulate it as much as I possibly could, and it was fantastic. Let's go put this on. I want somebody to see they're a little bit too powerful for this team. I wanted somebody to hit and miss so we could go back at them. You know what I mean? Like I like that retaliation. All right, so now I will build a quick turn meter team, then I'll get back to you. If I can get anyone who doesn't have, let's see. If I can get to anyone who does not have, let's see. Well, I can go back at this team with a turn meter team. First things first, what do I want to do? Evasion, nope. You want to do hit chance? Yep. Not really, no. You want to do turn meter. So I do have Martian Manhunter there, but I kind of want to lean towards Red Hood just for the sake of the story. Since we don't have to worry about speed as much right now, I'm going to put in Red Hood, followed by Kaga. 2 of my favorites get to be in the game. That's what's up. Then next would be... So you have a lot of options. I'll put... no, I don't want to put Impulse in because that's what Kaga's there for. I do want to take out Azrael. So turn meter manipulator. Who is green? That would be Martian Manhunter and Lex, basically. Let's go ahead and do Wally West. We'll use Wally West to make sure that we go first. I mean, we're going to go first anyway, but now I'm just filling in roster spots. And then the next energy, you know what? Let's go ahead and toss Impulse in there too. Like, this team should have no problem winning, but we'll see. And actually with Impulse, I should be able to stun Azrael to prevent him from retaliating against us when we hit everybody. So plus side here, I get to just hit this. Oh, no. Let's see. This is the stun, right? The A2. Okay. I always forget that with him. All right. Boom. We have stunned Azrael successfully, which is what we want to see. Now we're going to use Wally West to make everyone else faster. Kaga would have been next to go in this order anyway, but you see my point. AoE from Kaga reduces all their turn meter. Then we go to Red Hood. I think, well, it can be autoed from here. All right, so we've taken out one. Their turn meters are about to reset. Boom. As you note, they've been reset. And so, final verdict, as much fun as I have with Evasion teams, as much fun as I love for them, they're not reliable enough to really like try to start build. If you're early mid game, they're not reliable enough for you to start like trying to build on them right now. Have the tunes set up to the side or whatever. Then when you get to like mid late game, then you can go ahead and decide like, okay, I do have Batgirl with all these frags, and now I don't have to worry about Martian Manhunter and Cheetah and developing them at lead. I can go ahead and have a little bit more fun with Batgirl. So that is Evasion ups versus turn meter. If you ask me, turn meter is by far better. And that is, if you're trying to decide which comp to build, that is where you should go. So, thanks again to Darkseid for suggesting the idea. It was kind of interesting to compare like the philosophy or the theories behind different comps and how you use them. I'm not exactly sure I explained myself 100% correctly or well, but please let me know. Gotta be fair. I am absolutely exhausted. I'm so tired. So, I drop DC Legends videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Marvel Future Revolutions videos every Tuesday and Thursday. Please like, please subscribe, and if you don't like it, hit subscribe, hit dislike. I'm okay with that as well. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time.